This episode is brought to you by Transcend Trails. Starting at Walyunga National Park, traversing the Puruna Wildlife Reserve and finishing at Cobbler's Pool, you'll have access to some of the most stunning trails on offer in WA through the beautiful and untamed Avon Valley. But don't be fooled, your body and mind will be challenged in ways you might least expect. Whether you're taking it on solo or enjoying a day on the trail with friends, race distances from 6k to 65k offer an inclusive and unforgettable race experience for people of all ages and abilities. Transcend, rise above and go beyond. The valley awaits. Find out more and enter now at transcendtrails.com, with entries closing midnight 9th of August 2026.
All right, Kaya everyone, and welcome to episode 02 of Trail to Transcend, the Warp training series following 4 athletes as they train toward the 2026 edition of the Transcend Trails on 22nd of August. Last episode, we spoke to Victoria Hunn and Michael Edgar, where Vicky spoke about qualifying for the 2027 edition of the CCC, and Mike shared stories of Feral Pig last year where he was able to taste his breakfast and his gels twice. Today, we are blessed to be speaking with 2 of WA's finest athletes on our trails, both of them representing Tarkine and boasting a list of results that will make your eyes water and your quads quiver. First of all, I will introduce my co-host for this evening. I believe was on a little getaway with some mates over the weekend and potentially a trail run on the cards. Vicky Richardson, how are you?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I'm good, thank you. Yes, I felt I needed to be qualified for tonight's record, so I went on a trail run.
Very good. Where were you and how was it?
We went to Bells Rapids. We did 15Ks. I have no idea what the elevation was, but it was a lot for me. It just felt like it was straight uphill. We hiked it and for the first, I don't know how many Ks, but no, it was good. It was actually really enjoyable, particularly the bit coming back along the river. I didn't fall over. So, yeah, it was nice. I had to start training for Transcend at some point. So there we go. That's me off the mark.
It has begun, the 6-week block. Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a block.
Well, it's better than nothing, that's for sure. All right, well, our first guest is returning to Transcend in the 28K this year after having run 8:24 in the 65K back in 2023. Her running has leveled up since then quite substantially following a win at 3-inch trail half marathon in December last year, just days after having her wisdom teeth removed, which is a weapon-worthy behaviour if I've ever heard of it. She's since gone on to take 6th place at the 22K Donna Double at Warburton Trail Festival back in March, and has most recently placed 17th at UTA 22 in Katoomba in New South Wales in May. In addition to representing Tarkine and Vert Nutrition on the trail, she's also a former representative for Australia in underwater hockey. Annika Keall, thank you and welcome to the WA Running Podcast.
Thanks so much. It's so great to be here. What an intro. You've really done some diving there. It's good to be here.
For sure. Great to have you. I think we'll have to get into that underwater hockey a little bit later, but I did have to watch a few YouTube videos in the research for this.
Good. Done some research. It's good to see.
Yeah, very good. We've also got a bloke who's been on absolute tear of late. He's made a habit of breaking course records recently, winning Feral Pig 100K last year in 10 hours and 35 minutes, the 2026 Margaret River Ultra 80K in 6 hours 16 minutes. He also happens to hold the record for the 42K from 2025, and just for shits and giggles, ran the King of the Mountain last week or 2 weeks ago in 1 hour and 1 minute. Last year, he placed second in the 65K at Transcend behind Mike Dimuantes, and you can be sure he's back this year to take gold. Apart from a pair of Tarkine giants, you'll often find him on the start line in some Manning Park Trail Runners kit. Ben Leeson, welcome to the WA Running Podcast.
Yes, thanks for having me. Yeah, that's quite an intro. It makes you feel good about yourself. Just boost the ego for the start of the podcast. It's great.
I can see your head's burgeoning out of your hat already. So, yeah. Thanks for joining us, mate. Great to have you. Mate, I'm going to get stuck straight into it. I'd love to hear a bit about your background. I mean, everybody hears about all these results on the podcast or on social media. Maybe you could take us through how you got into running, mate, and your background into trails.
Yeah, so probably my first little venture into the endurance world was a one-hit wonder about 10 years ago, 12 years ago now, in 2013. On a whim, I decided to convince a couple of mates to join me and did a half Ironman. With about sort of 6 months notice on that, they all went fairly deep and fairly heavy into it. With my sort of training focused around not drinking as many beers on the weekend, and I had a 2-month abstinence in the lead up to that, being young and dumb, and sold my bike straight after that one. But it was a fun event. And then, probably 10 years off, doing not a lot, travelling and working throughout the tropics. Came back to Perth in 2022 with the goal of, as everyone does, sort of you hit 30 and want to change your lifestyle a little bit and stop drinking beers every night and getting fit and healthy. So started going back to the gym and then bumped into an old schoolmate at Rottnest Running Festival. So I went over there, and the goal for that, I was going to do the 10K, and it got COVID about 10 days out from that. So I ran the 5K with my partner because she wanted to go over and do that. And then at the finish line, bumped into an old schoolmate. I hadn't seen him for about 7 or 8 years. He did the half marathon, and over a beer at the pub afterwards, we decided that it'd be a good idea to progress to the marathon at that time. So 5Ks to marathon's always a natural leap.
Perfect.
I ended up doing the Perth Marathon, Perth Running Festival one in October of 2022. And then that same mate convinced me to do Hurdy's Backyard Ultra in March the following year, while I was feeling really good and travelling around Tassie and enjoying a good time. I thought it was a great idea, and I said I could do that. Quite humbling experience.
I can imagine. Yeah, quite a rude shock going from 5K to Hurdy's in the space of less than 12 months.
Yeah. My body thought the same thing. I ended up snapping a branch off a tree and hobbling my way through my final lap, which took me about an hour and a half to get through. There was a few tears and curse words to myself. And when I came across the finish line there, the people at the timing counter were very confused whether I was very slow or very fast, because I was at that sort of 30-minute mark of the next lap. But that same mate also took me onto the trails, and then 2023 I did the whole Perth Trail Series, Winter Series, which was sort of my first foray into the trails. And when I joined Manning Park was that year as well, in 2023, and sort of became church and religious there almost every Thursday night, with a couple of years of chasing Sam Herman around, trying to keep up with him, and then built me to probably where I am now. I could sort of thank Manning Park and Sam for a lot of that.
Yeah, amazing stuff, mate. So you spent a bit of time in the tropics. I know you like your fishing, and a few bush chooks at the time, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, that pretty well sums it up. Fishing, spearfishing, and a few beers and bush chooks was my activities.
Yeah.
I was living in Townsville and Broome, and also over in the Bahamas for a couple of years. So not the healthiest lifestyle, but it was great fun.
Yeah, for sure. Also, probably not ideal running conditions in any of those places. So.
Actually, pretty warm. It was the odd dog jog, and that was about it. Most of the time was to the beach to flick some lures around.
Yeah, cool. And I guess so you did the Perth Trail Series. You joined Manning Park Trail Runners. What would you say your first big race or big trail race was?
I culminated that winter series with the 50K, Truth or Consequences at the Perth Trail Series. So that was, near on 4 years ago now, coming up to. So that was my first ultra, my first big race. I just absolutely loved it. The fact that I couldn't, it would hurt to run down the hills on that second 25K loop. And I couldn't walk for a couple of days, but it was, it was awesome. Just being out there running through the bush, I felt like I was an 8-year-old kid again, which was really nice.
For sure. Well, you obviously fell in love with it. Out of curiosity, what did you run at that 2022 Perth Running Festival?
That was a 3:18
Right.
marathon for that one, for the running festival. So
Shit, that's a pretty decent turnaround going from the 5K to a 3:18 in 6 months. Or less, actually.
yeah, I think I got good genetics, bit of genetics on my side for that one.
Yeah. Very lucky. All right. Well, Annika, we'll get to you. I believe you're another bush baby. A bit of a background in Little Aths down in Mars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct. I guess like a lot of kids down there, there wasn't really a lot to do. So Little Athletics was the place to start. It was such a good way to meet people. I think the reason why we actually did it was at the end of the 1500. Once we had completed that, we would be rewarded with a Bunnings sausage sizzle. So I think that was probably one of the biggest draws towards doing Little Athletics there. But yeah, I really loved it. That was kind of my early year journey. But I found that it just wasn't long enough. And I was quite young still. So my mum never let me do the 5K or the 10K, had to kind of stick with the 1500 as my max. I got pretty bored of that pretty early on. So I took a bit of a break. I did a few fun runs. That was always something really exciting to do. And then, yeah, fast forward, took a break from Little Athletics, did a few state champs, and then, yeah, kind of moved on from there. Started underwater hockey, as you mentioned earlier. That was a really cool sport, really healthy for developing lung capacity and for free diving, snorkeling, all that sort of stuff. So I was in the pool quite a lot, turned into a fish pretty much. And then from there, I went up to uni, and in Perth, that's kind of when I found a love for the longer running distances again. I connected with an old friend, Meg Shine, who was part of Endurance Movement when they were still up and running in Perth. And I kind of got sucked in with those guys. It kind of felt like a cult to start off with. But they're such an incredible crew. That's when I found a coach and started running more longer distances. I think my first bigger race in my uni days was, I think I did a team Ironman. I think I did the 21K there. Had no training. Think I had my shoes from 10 years ago that I wore. They were way too small for me. But I had so much fun, and the community was what really drew me in. And then, yeah, with Endurance Movement, I found a coach, and Reese Crosswell, an absolute legend. He, showed me the way for the trails. And then, fast forward, I think my first marathon and ultra marathon was Transcend. Yeah, pretty deep dive in, to be honest.
Yeah, that is a deep dive. Obviously, back again. I mean, you must have had some good memories of Transcend then, even if it was a relatively deep dive.
Yeah. It was a wicked start. I mean, I'm still trail running now, even probably more obsessed. So I think that kind of shows the sort of race that it is. And I'm sure we'll talk more about it later on in the podcast. But yeah, I think these sort of grassroots events just draw you in and keep wanting you to come back for more and more. The bush itself is magnificent. And I was just so in love with going on the trails on the weekends. Spending my weekends down at Kalamunda and Kings Park, and like what a way to spend your weekends out in the bush. Kind of felt like back Margaret River home days. Yeah, pretty special.
For sure. Underwater hockey is not one of those things that, I had heard of it before. I didn't really appreciate what it was until I started looking it up for this. But yeah, how did you get into that? You obviously represented. I think you guys won a national championship for WA, and you represented Australia. Looking at it, it looks like water polo but harder.
Yeah, I mean, it requires a lot of stamina, your breath hold. All of the older crew, they're mad free divers. That's the reason they do it. They do it because it's such great fitness for your ocean capacity, I guess, with holding your breath. And yeah, I guess going back to your question, when I was in Margaret River, I believe there was a crew down there. I started joining because I think a running friend also tried out underwater hockey as well. And I liked it, but I wasn't super passionate. And then we later on moved to Busselton, and there was more of a crew there. And I was kind of a bit lost at high school, not really knowing what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be. And yeah, I just had this love for this sport, pretty much being a mermaid. A mermaid crossed with a fish with an intense breath hold. And yeah, there's a puck. It's a heavy puck on the bottom of the floor, and it's kind of like an ice hockey puck, I would say. And then you have a stick, has a curve at the end. It's not like a hockey stick, even though it says in the name underwater hockey. I don't really know where it kind of connects, but yeah, a puck and then a small stick, probably about 10 centimetres, 15 centimetres long. And the idea is to push the puck on the bottom of the floor with your big fins kicking all the way through. And honestly, look it up. I think that's probably the best way to understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a few people listening to this now probably pulling off to the side of the road and getting their phones out and figuring it out. But
yeah,
that's awesome. Awesome stuff. But yeah, I guess recent events. Yeah, you guys have both run some incredible races of late. Donna Double, you've run both 2025 and 2026, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think you placed 11th last year in 252, and then you placed 6th this year in 230, along with taking, I think, a couple of decent scalps, you might say. There's a couple of names like Simone Brick, like you beat in that race, which is pretty cool. How was that experience? And I think last year, you've been running these Golden Trail National Series in the hope of getting a golden ticket, but you fell just short last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So this year, it was an incredible race. It's something that I think I will forever hold in my heart. I executed the race plan so perfectly. I felt so good. I think the whole weekend in itself, if you ever want to go over for an interstate race in Melbourne, it's a long weekend over there. It's in Warburton, Victoria. It's Ferns. It's just it's a small town, but everyone seems to come here and just make it alive for that weekend. And there's various races, distances, but yeah, I chose obviously the Donna Double because it is part of the Golden Trail series, just a championships this year. It has been a series in the past, which is what you were talking about before, but yeah, it's just one race this year. It was incredible. I started off going slow. I really wanted to kind of control my speed and my pace, and knowing that I had a huge climb, 1,200 meter climb straight up for the first 10Ks. And yeah, I just paced it so well. I felt so good in myself, and I knew what was coming up next, which I think really helped with doing it the previous year, knowing what to expect and really holding myself to the course. And yeah, just sticking to my own guns and knowing that I can do this and trusting myself and sticking to the race plan. And yeah, I mean, I got a great result out of it. There was Lucy Bartholomew up ahead, and that was pretty awe-inspiring, watching her rock up to the start line, and a full circle moment from last year when I was just a fresh youngie on that trail to be up with that sort of field in the first half was pretty incredible. Yeah, and then sending it downhill, that's probably my favorite part. Once you get up 11 Ks up to the top of the hill, then you just send it downhill and really just hope for the best. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Can I ask where? Oh, no, go on, Chris.
I was just going to say it's a white knuckle ride, I can imagine.
Yeah, 100%. And I think my goal is never let a man overtake me on the uphill. It's okay if they barrel past me on the downhill. I will accept that because some of those guys can just barrel past you, and you can hear them coming from a mile away. It's kind of like a pig chase, to be honest. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
Where does the name for that race come from? Is there a two peaks in it or something? Or
no, I haven't quite worked that out. The mountain is Mount Donna. Buang or something. I think I've maybe butchered that. But I don't know where the doubles come from. Maybe because you go up, you literally just go straight up, straight down. Same kind of up and back. Yeah, not sure.
How do
Interesting.
the trails there compared to back over in WA?
Yeah, it's pretty muddy, especially considering there was quite a lot of rainfall previously. Apparently, it was a faster course this year, but I really did not believe that. I I felt like it was a pretty brutal, muddy sort of race. The magnificent ferns, that's probably the one thing that really keeps me coming back. I'm just so obsessed with that rainforest sort of climate over there, and it was still quite hot, cool in the morning, but yeah, considerably warm because it doesn't start. The race starts at 9 a.m. I think. So yeah, as you're kind of climbing down, it does get quite hot. But yeah, just think peak rainforest. You can hear the river down below, and yeah, paints a pretty special picture. Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess this year you also ran UTA 22K, and I think maybe you mentioned maybe we asked you pre-show, like you might not have had the experience you were hoping like there, but you, like altogether, like you learned a lot of lessons out of that race.
Yeah, I think you've got to have those sort of races where, you expect great things and you kind of come out of it, not getting the race goal that you wanted to set out to achieve. But I learnt so much from it. I think there was a bit going on in my life leading up to it. So I didn't have the greatest training block. So I really just wanted to get there and give it my best and try and be as healthy as I can on the start line. I was pretty lucky. Like I had family come. My sister and her partner came from Canberra, came to meet us over there. My partner, my mum, and my dad came over, so that was really special. So I think no matter what, I was always going to have an incredible time, no matter what I raced, just with the atmosphere. And yeah, I kind of like Vicky in the previous podcast, never been there before. It was a fog out for the first few days of the lead up to the race. So I had no idea what to expect, what the Blue Mountains were really about, the views, I couldn't see anything. And then, come race day, the fog completely cleared. So my first experience, I guess, of the Blue Mountains was on race day, which was really special. But yeah, I didn't have the greatest race. I think I struggled, a little bit mentally. I just didn't have my mental game right. I think I felt a lot of pressure because it was quite a big race and, 2,000 competitors and my first UTMB race. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself. And after having an incredible race at Warburton for Donna Double, I think the expectations were really high. And it was a new sort of race as well. I traditionally race 22Ks and it's uphill and then you're climbing downhill, whereas this one started at the top and you went down into the valley and then you went up. So it was like kind of 10Ks down or 11Ks down, 11Ks up. And that was pretty intense on the legs and something I had never really experienced before, particularly in training. I tend to go slow on the downhills because I feel it's quite impactful on my knees and you got to train those downhills, but I don't know at what cost at training. So I hadn't really done much practice on the downhills and they start out fast, really fast. I mean, you have Bridget Lunn, who's got an incredible 5K time, who does these sort of races and she sets the pace hard out the start line. And then 10Ks downhill, everyone's just absolutely sending it, going so fast and it's slippery. It's on a fire break. So completely new territory for me. And then by the time I kind of got up to the uphill, I was pretty much done. Like I hadn't got much left. And I think the mental beating of the downhills and just feeling not the greatest, I think that didn't help. But hey, like I was in such a beautiful place. I was frustrated at myself, but I really couldn't be that frustrated because I was looking around the whole time. I thought, you know what, I'm not having my greatest race, but at least I can look around and see the Blue Mountains and really experience it while racing. That's a pretty special sort of experience to have. And getting to the finish line. 900 meters before the finish line, there's the classic notorious steps. They're just tiny metal steps that just seem to go on forever and ever and ever. And you can hear the finish line, you can hear people cheering, you can hear people finishing, but you just can't. It just seems like it's never going to be ever the finish line. It's kind of, it's pretty brutal. But yeah, I came out of it with a lot to learn and a lot, to grow from. So all in all, a pretty good race.
Yeah, for sure. I think your comments on Strava after that was something like whoever put those stairs at the end of a race is like a sick individual or something like that.
Yeah, like seriously, come on. Who in the right sort of mind would come up with that? Like, I'm sure there is a simple, gradual uphill climb on the road that they could set the finish line on. Would have been glorious. I would have appreciated that a lot. But no, they had to go for the most brutal course possible. I think that's kind of the common denominator with all of the race directors is that they think, okay, how can we make this the most brutal course possible? Okay, let's do that, and let's just make it even more brutal than that than the bar. Yeah.
For sure.
How did you go about training for that section of that race? Were you on the Stairmaster? Were you finding stairs to climb near where you are? Or
well, leading up to Donna Double, I was out on the Stirling Ranges, Bluff Knoll in particular, most weekends. I'm really lucky where I live. I'm really close-ish to Bluff Knoll. So I was doing hill repeats, like 2 to 3.5 of those for my weekend training runs. And I think that really helped me for Donna Double. I was hoping to do that in the lead up to UTA, but I just, I got unwell and then things happened and didn't have the greatest training block. I wasn't able to get out there as much. So I was kind of more going localized, bold head, which still has significant steps, but, I really don't think anything can prepare you for UTA, to be honest. But I was trying to, when I could, get out to as many stairs sections as I could. Even bold head, I would do bold head, and then out towards the end, there are some stairs. I would do a few of those, maybe five repeats of those stairs, and then continue back home just to try and get some stair practice in. But not as much as I wanted to, as I would like. But my intentions were to go out to Bluff Knoll most weekends if I could. Yeah.
Ben, I think you've got aspirations to run UTA if you haven't done so already. Like, I can see the cogs turning in your head about these stairs at the moment.
Yeah, the stairs are a big one. And I think they're going to be quite prevalent in the Asia Pacifics in China in November as well. I haven't had a deep dive into that, but talking to other people, I believe a lot of their trails is going to be a lot of stairs and a lot of concrete. So it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, I have thought about, as you said, Vicky, the Stairmaster. It's probably going to be as mind-numbing as the treadmill, which I just can't deal with, but it's potentially something that I'll have to work on. And just I might even get up to Kings Park and do Jacob's Ladder because I've never done that one before. So do some repeats there.
Yeah, I always forget about that actually. I might go and do that for Transcend, which is a big statement for me. I don't even know whether my legs got stairs in it, but I'm sure they'll be useful.
Have you decided on your leg that you're doing for Transcend yet?
One.
Leg one.
I haven't decided. Ooh. I was told that I was doing leg one.
Don't worry about the stairs then.
No steps?
No steps.
You'd just be crawling up it instead of going up steps.
Yeah.
Great.
You're literally hands and knees kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. I can't wait.
Stuck and roll.
So Ben, moving on to you and talking about recent races. So you've done Buffalo Stampede this year, the 100K, and was third. You were down in Margaret River as well and broke the course record by, I think it was 19 minutes.
Yeah, about
16 minutes, 19 minutes. Yeah, and like 6 hours, 16. Incredible. I did Margaret River. I did leg 3, the sand leg. I have no idea how on earth you did that time on that course. Yeah, so talk us through those kind of recent events that you've done and what stuck in your mind.
Yeah, so the big goal was Buffalo, my first race over the East Coast. So after a bit of recovery and a sort of a chill tail end of the year after Feral Pig 100, I actually got my first good block in pretty well since I started trail running, a solid 3 months, consistently around that sort of 100K a week mark. And just trying to get in as much elevation as possible, with 2 trips down to the Stirlings, down there to get used to just those long climbs and long descents. As much as we can get elevation doing hill repeats in Perth, we just can't get those long climbs and descents. So had a great block leading to Buffalo, and I really didn't know what to expect going into that. So I took it out reasonably steady. I was probably top 20 or something. And then mostly the first climb it's pretty gnarly. But it was definitely a lot of hike jogging. First time I'd used poles on a race. And sort of managed to hike my way through the pack, and I was sort of up in the pointier end of the field in the top 10, I guess, by the top of that first climb. And then spent about 25 or 20 odd Ks running with Benjamin Butler, so another Ben, and chatting away with him. So it was good to pick his brains as we were running along, because he'd done it last year. And then, unfortunately, he succumbed to everyone's nightmare and gut issues and vomiting. And I sort of ran away from him a little bit on the faster road sections up the top. And then, I didn't realise I was sort of made my way through into third place until, because it's an out and back course, and I saw the first 2 guys come past me, and that was it. I was like, oh shit! I'm in third place here. I was a little bit nerve-wracking at that time.
Pressure's on all of a sudden,
yeah. And I said, oh well, all I have to do is get home now. It's turn around and 50 Ks back home, with some very runnable terrain. Although it's got about 5,000 meters of elevation over 100K. It's not. There's a couple of technical sections, but a lot of it is on more runnable sections, or So managed to somehow come through with the goods, and finished reasonably strongly. Again, as Annika said, a lot of learnings from that. I probably spent 60 or 70 Ks of that race trying to figure out how not to cramp and how not to throw up. I was having sort of gut issues from about 15 Ks in, sort of changing nutrition and water intakes and things like that on the fly. But it's a great way to take your mind off things when you're trying to problem solve while you're running along.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
Didn't have the legs, unfortunately, in me to catch second place. I sort of almost caught him on the last climb. But the Nepalese can climb mountains, and
I saw that. You said you were like, what, two minutes behind that in the end?
I was about 2 minutes in the finish, and I was probably only 15, 20 seconds. I sort of caught him on that last climb.
Yeah,
okay. I'd have a good crack, but I'd spent a few too many bickies on that climb and needed a quick moment. And then I probably took a minute and a half at that aid station, and we probably actually ran the same back half, about the same pace as each other. But absolutely mind-blowing moment to finish third on that one. And then it was all about recovery. Leading in, I only had 6 weeks to Margs. And it was sort of a week of recovery, and then another couple of weeks of sort of easing back into it, and then it was more of a build into Margs. And I think probably 2 weeks out from Margs, I did a fast park run down at Bibra Lake and got a PB on the park run there. And I knew then, I was like, okay, I'm back to 100%, and I knew it was going to be a hell of a race down at Margs. And the course record was obviously dangling there. And I was actually chatting to Vlad about probably 3 weeks or something before Margs, and we're chatting about the course record, and I thought, it's a pretty optimistic record to chase down, especially never doing the event before, but I thought I was in the right shape and condition to go give it a crack. And the first 50 Ks of that race just went seemingly like it was perfect. It was beautiful, and moving so fast. And that first 35 Ks is so quick. I sort of came through it 42 Ks. I looked at my watch and it was at 3:17. And I go, all right, we could be on for something pretty special here. Which was all going well into about 70K mark, and then it was a grit and bear for the last 9Ks. I figured anyone can move 9Ks, and sort of wheeled myself through that last 9Ks with stomach issues, but energy felt great the whole time, and yes, phenomenal to actually be able to perform that well and have a great race.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And so still some learnings though from that, whatever happened before the last 9K.
Yeah, there's learnings. I think every race you guys probably do the same. Any sort of time you're racing over about 10Ks, you usually, there's always something that's you're managing and figuring out. Mine's generally around nutrition. And we'll see. I tweaked a few things from Buffalo into Margs. So I've gone to basically plain water now, instead of having carb mix plus gels. I've upped my gel intake. I've gone to plain water, and added salt tablets where needed. Margs, I also had two Morton 320 drink mixes on top of that, and the third one I just couldn't get down. So for Transcend, I'll be scrapping anything but plain water, and sort of doubling down on my gels, which I've been practicing pretty heavily in the training and the longer runs. So fingers crossed, if I can have a good race and get those carbs in, it's and don't have gut issues, it should be a good race.
Yeah, so if you're kind of knocking out the carb mix, what are you getting an hour then on your run?
Sitting around that sort of 110 grams an hour. So I'm doing a gel every 20 minutes. So with the Bix 40 grams, and then the sort of 240s and a 30 gram in there, or maybe if I want extra salts, I'll go for the 30 gram with the extra salt. So that's still 140 and 230 is still 100 grams of carbs an hour, and then the odd couple of swigs of Coke or a couple of chips at the aid stations as well.
Nice. Well, there's some new flavours on the way from what I understand, what Vlad tells me. Got this green apple, this one that everyone's talking about over in Europe at the moment.
Yeah, I did talk to him about it. I'm not normally a fan of the green apple, but I'm curious to try it anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more of a natural flavouring guy myself, so I just like the old plain ones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The plain Bix?
Yep, that's my jam.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon that's 80% of what I have as well.
Yep.
It's not the greatest taste the first time you have it. Definitely takes a little bit to get used to, but it's one of the few gels that for 40 grams of carbs, it's quite thin, and I haven't had any real gut issues compared to most of the other gels. So I can get past the flavour, and now I'm used to it and actually look forward to it.
And do you wash it down with water? Do you have to?
I don't have to.
No, okay.
No. Sometimes I do, but yeah, I don't always. They go down pretty easily. So yeah.
Very good. Speaking of nutrition, Annika, you're sponsored by Vert Nutrition, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am. I've been with them for over a year now, since finishing the Golden Trail series last year. Ben is the owner of Vert Nutrition, and he's actually based in Brisbane, and that was where my last race was, and we kind of connected for the first time there, and that was really nice to kind of hear about his story and where it all began. And lo and behold, he said, do you want to come on board? And I've been a lover ever since. It's kind of been Really easy. If I was to be honest, I'm not someone who has struggled with gut issues except for Transcend, actually, now that I think of it. On my very first trail race, I came up with the grand idea to make pancakes for all of my nutrition. I thought
Delicious.
carbs, okay, high carbs, dense carbs. Let's just whack some like oats in, some flour, some banana, blend it all up, fry it up. Uh, Perfect. Somehow it worked
Delicious.
on all of my training runs. But yeah, come race day, unsurprisingly, I could not ingest pancakes consistently. So I think I was grabbing whatever I could on the trails. I think there's a photo of me, actually. We'll have to see if we can find it. I've got chips in one hand. I've got a lolly snake dangling out of my mouth. And I think I have like a cup in my other hand, probably of like Coke or something. Definitely not something I recommend. Please do not take any advice from that, because that was such a recipe for disaster. I pretty much just ended up probably 25 Ks in, or maybe closer to 35 Ks in, ingesting little carbs because I couldn't really take much in. Yeah, so I guess the idea is, yeah, have your nutrition down pack in training, make it work, make it foolproof. And for me, yeah, vert's it. Like I use the same flavor. I'm kind of got to do the same stuff every single time and same flavor. And if it works, it works. Don't change it. So I go for the lemon squash. It's actually flavored by real lemon. And I really like it. It's kind of got like a sour taste to it, and for some reason it suppresses my thirst. I'm usually someone who feels like they need so much water when they're training and racing, and I'm always constantly thirsty, and the sort of like really sweet gels make me want to drink more and more water, and I'm just consuming so much water and I can't hold the amount that I want to consume. So yeah, lemon squash flavor works really well because it's got that sour, and I'm not craving water as much. So yeah, Vert lemon squash is my go-to there.
Awesome. Very good. Well, yeah, both kind of representing Australian nutrition brands, which is really cool to see.
Yeah.
And like, I guess, Vert and Bix, like is Vert predominantly like a trail brand? Bix is, renowned for, obviously Vlad is a renowned trail runner. So is Vert a similar company in that regard?
Interestingly, because he's actually based, obviously, I said in Brisbane, but he said that a lot of his customers have come from WA. There's a huge buyer population in WA, and yeah, they are. A lot of them are trail runners, but he also said, in particular, especially for the Noosa road marathon, he had a lot of people using Vert for that. I think it's just getting into that scene for him. And whether, yeah, I think as he grows bigger, I think there'll be more and more people on the road and trail, yeah, utilizing it. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Vlad's kind of spreading his wings in terms of like he's got the likes of Rose Davies and Stewie McSwain advertising Bix products on the track. So he's really kind of gone on in all kind of corners of the ring there.
Yeah, it's awesome to see.
For sure. I just wanted to quickly ask you guys about like your kind of, where your, primary distance, where you see your primary distances are. So Annika, you did the 65K at Transcend, that like went into the deep end, but you seem to have kind of gone to this kind of half marathon-ish distance now, and maybe focusing or favouring speed over those shorter distances than the longer stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I guess it's not really quite the natural pathway that people follow as they get older, switching to speed. I feel like it's kind of the opposite end, going more longer distances as they get older rather than the speed. But yeah, after the 65K, I had set myself out to run 100 miles by, I think, Transcend initially that year was in July, and then I believe, and then end of January, August, perhaps, there was Delirious West coming up. And I said, by the time I finished Transcend and then moving into Delirious, a few months later, I would be running 100 miles. That was obviously not the greatest plan. I ended up having a stress fracture, unfortunately. That put me out for quite a few months, probably actually like a year I was out. It took me a very long time to recover and get back on the trails, and being really healthy with my bones. And my return to run was quite a bumpy road. I had many setbacks, and I just really struggled to build up my strength again, because I was on crutches for quite a while. It was a pretty severe stress fracture, because I thought that shin pain is fine and just keep running on it. And that's actually the worst plan, to keep running on shin pain, because it tends to end up into a stress fracture. I guess from there, I did a full 360, and I thought this might be quite healthy for me. And I've always wanted to give the speedy stuff a crack. I love doing speed sessions. I love threshold sessions. I love running as fast as I can over short, brutal distances. So I'd kind of always kept an eye on the Golden Trail series. It's something that I'd always been aspired to. It just looks so cool, so brutal, so fast, and the sort of places these people travel to compete in the World Series is just phenomenal. And what a great way to travel the world if you can. So that kind of became my goal from there. And then, I found out that there was a national series in Australia, starting off with, Donna Double, and then progressing to Tasmania, Kununni Mountain Run. And then the third one was in Newcastle. And then, as I said, the finals was in Brisbane. And then, it was just, I think I just really like those sort of shorter races because there's less planning involved. I think with less pressure with nutrition and working out your carbs the night before and planning all of that sort of stuff, and where you're going to be, what time for the aid stations, and having that support crew. I really just liked kind of just me going out racing by myself. Don't really need much planning or extra crew to do it. And I love the speed. So I've kind of found my love for the shorter stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. So you went from like running the 1500 as a kid, kind of hating it, and now you're back like on the the speed.
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know. I will say recently I've had a little inkling, a little sort of thing popping up in my head saying maybe you could try a 50K. But I haven't told anyone about that. So let's keep that on the down low. Because I don't know that I can do that.
So like you might have mentioned that at the wrong time.
Perhaps.
I really like the fact though that you like the shorter stuff, and you found something that you're good at. I think that there's a big thing, whether it's triathlon or whether it's running, that everyone feels that when you get better, you go longer, you go for longer, and you do the bigger races, and everyone's aiming towards a marathon, or or if you're an ultra runner, it has to be 100K or 100 miler, and then 200 miler. With triathlon, it's like a half Ironman, then it's a full Ironman, and I really admire people who go, no, actually, I'm really good at sprint triathlon, and so I'm going to stick at that. And I've tried longer stuff; it doesn't suit me, so I think it's awesome that you're doing that. Maybe you will do a 50, but I think from your results and the fact that you over 12 months knocked off 20 minutes for your Donna Double time, and what was it, 5 places as well, shows that you're obviously pretty good at that distance. So
I love it, and that's the main part. Like, I just absolutely love that I can do it fast, and it is a mixture of speed, but it's also I'm climbing up these hills and there is endurance involved. It's just such a fun distance, and you're right, like it is quite an addictive sense of, okay, what am I seeking next? I've done this distance, can I go further and further and do longer kilometers? But it's also okay to stick with the lower distances and be okay with that and have fun, and just give it a crack and not be restricted.
For sure. I mean, if you watch any Sorry, Ben, you go, mate.
I was just going to say, I guess the beauty of the shorter distances as well is you can race a lot more frequently. The
Yes,
recovery time is
yes.
not as hectically long.
I think that is a bit of a trap, though. I That's what I thought. That, oh, cool. Like, I can race, once a month. Perfect. Don't need 6 months off. But it is pretty hectic on your body. I actually surprisingly don't recover as well either. Like, it probably, I don't know, probably I can't really compete with Ben and the sort of races you do, and probably the amount of time you need to recover. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't recover as well as other people. I think I need the solid time off to take time, and I think it's really important to do that too. Take time to recover and listen to your body and refuel. And as much as I think, as all of you guys could probably speak to, the fact that we would love to just do races every weekend and be fine to recover. But yeah, go look after your body, hey.
It's probably a smart decision. Very smart decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I found that out the hard way this weekend. I ran Bibra Lake Half Marathon after having run King of the Mountain, really as with that very little trail experience the weekend before, and I didn't realize how beat up my legs were going to be for the next kind of week, and I was still feeling pretty just not ready for it Sunday morning. But that's a lesson you learn, right? You just got to make these mistakes and just figure it out. But yeah, it's good that it's good to give the mind a rest too, not just the body. I think sometimes you need the stress of training all the time.
Yeah. I've actually been in a gym block post UTA. We did a full debrief, and I kind of realized that I haven't really improved on my climbing on the runnable sections of hills. I think I struggle with that, whether it's mentally or also my strength itself. I think the other girls that I'm competing with, they just have tenfold strength on me and can just kind of power up that hill. So that was this focus post UTA that I was really trying to focus on. And we thought, rather than smashing out the hills and hill repeats and doing it on the trails, let's have a look at the gym and see what we can develop there to really build that strength. And I think that's really helped the mental side of not stressing so much about my sessions and how my sessions on the trails are going. It's really helped to kind of reset my mental brain and reset and kind of have less pressure on myself in performing on the trails weekly and seeing improvements and powering up those hills. I think it takes a lot of pressure off, just having a break from your focus of your block being the trails, and mainly focusing on the gym itself and building strength in the gym. I think it's really shifted my mental state, which has been really nice to give my brain a break.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes you need it. Ben, we'll jump to you, mate. So, you've done everything from road marathons to 100K races. I think last year you ran Rottnest Marathon. I was there too. You ran 2:45 for second place. I was about 15 minutes behind you. How do you go about the Margaret River 42K? How do you judge your effort on a 42K race over the hills versus something like Buffalo, where you're running more than twice the distance and considerably more elevation?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I've sort of gone into that sort of 50 to 100K because when I was doing the shorter races, I always felt like I had more to give and was finishing quite strong. And that's what sort of drew me into those longer races. But yeah, it's still a tough one to judge, sort of effort level. I like to sort of approximate. I was like, how long am I actually going to be out here on this course? Sort of ballpark a rough time frame and go, can I maintain this effort for this long? And being able to, whether I'm going to run this hill or hike this hill, is probably a big one. I don't usually look at heart rate or anything like that during races. I find my heart rate does weird things during races just with the excitement and adrenaline, and then especially in those longer races, your heart rate in the back half drops off quite dramatically, and it's just your sort of your energy that's trying to keep you going, so it's not a good judge. I probably typically would generally sort of, especially the longer that sort of 100k distance, I'll usually sort of take it a little bit easier on the first half of the course, so I've got enough legs in the back half to push. I think I've had the beauty of some of those good performances, like especially Margs in the 42 Transcend. I've now done it twice. Sort of know what that effort feels like and what I can push and keep up with. And I getting stronger and faster each time. So sort of repositioning those goals and that effort level of each time. And I think, especially like Transcend this year is going to be a race from the start. And I find as long as I can get the carbs in, it's going to be, let's see if we can hold on and see how far I can push it. And then, the back half, it's always a mental game. I don't think whether you're taking it, a bit easier or a bit harder. I think either way, it's going to be a mental game, and it's how much can you actually grit it out and how much do you really want to push that finish.
For sure. And then, you talk about something like King of the Mountain last weekend, which is only 16 Ks, right? And that, by comparison, is just like a full send, right?
Yeah, that was brutal. 16 Ks is tough. Like, credit to you, Annika. Like, those shorter races are just as brutal and just as tough as the longer stuff. You're just working at such a high capacity. I guess I was thankful that I had Ollie to sort of set the pace with me, so we ran together for the first 4 or 5 Ks, and then it was get to the top of this hill, and then all I've got to do is get home and stay upright was the goal for that one, going down the hill. So it's I still don't think I probably push as hard as I should or can. But again, it's generally the mental, like you get to the finish and 5 minutes later, you feel really good and you go, oh, Jesus, like, I should have pushed harder. But in the moment, you don't even want to bloody take 2 steps further. It's an interesting one. And I think it comes with time and experience, really.
For sure.
Definitely.
Ollie was on the start line with me at Bibra Lake yesterday, actually, and he said, hey, how are your legs feeling after last week? And I said, not great. And he's like, me neither. I shouldn't have run with Ben. So, yeah.
He put a pretty handy time together, though, so I was chatting to him today about it.
Yeah. No, he did very well yesterday. Yeah. So I guess, maybe we could just jump to what a typical training week looks like for you guys. Like who is your coach? Who are you training with? And what does your week look like? Ben, let's start with you.
So coached by Clint Slomp, so sort of the founder of Manning Park Trail Runners. Sort of fell into Clint. Just wanted a bit of structure. When was that? Probably 2 years ago now, I think. Yeah, sort of March-ish 2024, so just before Hurdy's 2024. Typical week. So Monday's normally an easier day. So it's maybe an hour and a half easy run, or if I'm working on a Monday, it'll be just the commute to and from work, so 5Ks each way, plus a Pilates session typically. Tuesdays is my interval day. So quite often I'm at the track with the front runner group, chasing the fast track runners around in circles, which I think's had huge benefits for me. At the moment, I'm alternating weeks with the track, and then doing sort of hill repeats on the other week. So sort of 90-second hard up, hard back down, and then a rest, and then doing that again. So just to try and get the legs a bit more conditioning to the climbing. And a Pilates session in the morning on Tuesday, and a ride to or from work. Wednesday is normally a longer ride, so 40-50 Ks, bit of a river loop, and then I'll do my weight session and a sauna in the evening, usually Wednesdays. Thursday, it's normally a ride to and from work, and then Pilates and some Muay Thai in the morning as well. And then Thursday night I'll normally run to Manning Park and try and get about an hour in before the main session, chasing some vert, and then an hour in the main session, which could be threshold, could be tempo, could be zone 2, depending on who else is there to run in my group at Manning Park on the Thursday. Friday's normally a bit of a recovery day, so it's Pilates and Muay Thai again in the morning, and then just a run to or from work. Saturday's normally a faster sort of trail tempo-y type session, and then gym and sauna in the evening, and then Sunday's normally a longer run chasing vert up in the hills with some pretty cooked legs by that stage of the week. So yeah, try to get around that sort of 100k-ish mark, 3 to 4,000. Like to be up around 3.5 at the moment. Transcend coming up with vert, and then plus a bit of time on the bike.
Yeah, wow, that's that sounds like a busy week.
I just realised what I'm doing wrong. I need to add 50 k's a week plus about 3,500 meters of elevation, some cycling and some Muay Thai and some Pilates and gym.
Yes, I'm very fortunate in the fact that I don't have kids and I have a very supportive partner to try and balance life and work amongst that. So it's a full-time job outside of my full-time job at the moment. It seems to be paying dividends, so we'll stick with it for now.
I'm not. Yeah. I don't have kids either, so I can't use that as an excuse.
Very good. No, it's clearly playing dividends. How did you get into the Muay Thai?
It was actually the gym down the end of the road from us there. It's one gym that does Pilates, weights, and Muay Thai. So I started going there and just doing a bit of strength work, and then I thought I'd try Pilates, and then I thought I'd try Muay Thai there, and it makes a good combination. It's sort of a bit more high intensity, but it's also very good in terms of mobility and things like that when you're throwing your legs around and stuff like that. And it's a great coach and a great crew, so it's just a fun session on a Thursday, Friday morning.
For sure.
Can I ask about the Pilates? Does it translate? You said there's mobility involved. Do you find it translates onto the trails, like in terms of with your flexibility and feeling more fresh on the trails, or do you notice much difference?
Yeah, fresh not typically during my weeks, but when I have my breaks on it, definitely. But yeah, massively the reformer. I think just you're doing a lot of single leg work, a lot of those sort of stabilizing muscles, your hip flexors, your inner thighs, and your glutes and stuff like that. But I think it seems to be working, and I remember before I was doing it, I used to get quite sore sort of hip flexors and things like that, especially on the windier trails, and I don't really get that anymore. So it seems to be working, but definitely still do strength, so heavy weights on top of that as well.
Yeah, cool. Maybe that's the key. Get around some Pilates and some Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I need to clear my schedule for that.
It's always a juggling act of fitting things in and then trying to get enough recovery and sleep.
Yeah.
And eating a shitload of food. So.
Yeah.
We're not training, eating.
Yeah. Yes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
How about you, Annika? What does your week look like?
Yeah, so mine's pretty busy as well. I am also kidless, and I have also a very supportive partner, so I think that makes my week a little bit easier. So Mondays I have a double, so I do a gym and I do a run. It's 45 minutes to an hour. It's meant to be on the flats, but I always end up finding myself on the trails. Sorry, coach. Tuesdays I have... I try to go on the grass for a speedy session. Sometimes I see Mark C cruising around, makes me feel very humbled by his speed, going for his casual runs, and I'm doing my speed sessions and he's casually speeding past me. And then, Wednesdays, I've got my cycle and also a gym. I usually do hour and a half cycle. pretty cruisy, usually watching like Netflix or something. So it's quite an enjoyable session. Thursday is more of a tempo session on the flats, no grass, just, on concrete. And then Friday, in my gym block, every fortnight it would be another gym session, or alternatively it would be a rest day. But now it's rest day for a little bit. But I'm assuming it's going to transition to not being a rest day or a fortnightly rest day. So it might be incorporating another run or like a hill specific session. And then Saturday is an hour on the trails, just cruising by, not aiming for anything in particular. And then on Sunday, that's my big sort of trail run session, trying to get as much vert in as possible. I'm trying to aim, I'm just starting back onto the elevation grind since my gym block, but I really want to try and get 1,000 meters of elevation over 2.5 hours. Not quite there yet, still trying to ease back into it, but you'll probably catch me out at Bluff Knoll pretty soon. Yeah.
What type of stuff are you doing in your gym block, or were you doing in your gym block to help with the uphill running?
Yeah, so lots of single leg stuff, as what Ben was saying. A lot of that, and just really going heavy, because I wasn't focusing so much on the hills. I was really able to train heavy in the gym. A lot of like sort of deadlifts, like RDLs, and a lot of plyometric sort of stuff as well, just to help with the mobility, and just spending that time in the gym. My sessions were an hour and a half to 2 hours long, just because I was really spending that time to recover, so then I could go back and back it up with a heavy rep. I do have a gym coach, which really helps. And they also help to test with my strength as well over time, and where my weaknesses are. And I'm actually still building up my strength in my right leg, still from my stress fracture. I still have quite a dissimilarity in my sort of strength in different muscular groups as a result of my stress fracture, like 3 years later. But that's been a really good, I felt really good in my gym block, and I really felt coming back onto the trails, like on the weekend I did Peak Head, and I felt so good in comparison to months prior. Before my gym block, I really highly recommend doing, when you have time, focusing on a gym block, and kind of letting the trails take a step back, so you can, really translate that strength in and have time for it. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about when you're in the gym. So you've got a coach in there with you all the time, or just setting your program and then checking in with you? How does that work?
Yeah, sorry. So my gym coach is in Perth, and they have a program for me. It's through an app, and I'm constantly sending him videos of my form, and he's constantly checking through the app my weights, and if I'm decreasing or increasing, and if it needs to be a deload week, if I'm not able to kind of reach my max or where I should be at my weights. I'm by no means good in the gym, by the way. This makes me sound like like I'm a mad dog bodybuilder, but I hate the gym realistically, and I feel like I am doing the most weird, obscure exercises. But I touch wood, I have been injury free since my stress fracture. So I think this gym has been working. Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. Who is he? Who's your gym coach? I want the details.
You want all the goss. So it's Diamond High Performance. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They're in Perth based. They're a small gym, and they work with a lot of track athletes, basketballers, and a whole variety. And Corbin is who my coach is. He's kind of the head guy over there, and he's doing an incredible job. Really, he didn't really know much about the trails, and he's done all of his own research and really trying to understand what I need and the sort of the muscle strain. He's been watching the Golden Trail series as well, which, God love him, that's so cute. Just to really kind of encapsulate what I'm getting up to and what he needs to do in the gym to help me with that. So I think it's really helped a lot. And I think I'm pulling up a lot less sore. Like Ben mentioned, the glutes. It's always the glutes that are giving you grief, and I'm finding a lot of strength in them, and it's been awesome.
Yeah,
That's
beauty.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Simon's going to listen to this later when he's editing it, and he will be probably furiously taking notes as to what strength training regime he needs to get onto, because God forbid he should hit to the gym.
So you're going to get in the gym, you reckon?
Yeah, big time.
It's such a grind, isn't it? Like, unless you're a bodybuilder that loves the gym and wants to go 5 days a week, it is hard. Like, it is, as I can imagine all of you guys, unless you're gym junkies, just having the motivation to go indoors and put your headphones in, not talking to someone for like 2 hours. I always try to strike up a conversation, but no one is ever keen to have a chat. I think everyone's pretty caffeinated up and just trying to lift their heavy iron. And then I rock up and I'm doing my weird plyometric sort of stuff, hopping and bouncing and being all springy like a ballerina. It's pretty sight to see, but it works.
I think you're onto something with the accountability though. I think it helps to have somebody just watching. So if you've got your gym coach who's there watching your videos, and also that invested in you, that he's actually like upskilling himself on the things that you need to be good at. I think that's, you then want to do more to kind of reap the rewards of that relationship.
100%. I think when I was previously doing it through, which was also really useful, through a physio would send me a program, and that worked really well. But it was so easy just to, today I'm not feeling too good, or I might just drop a load or drop a rep this time. But with Corbin, like he sees everything. There's no way of getting out of anything. He sees it all, and he'll tell you as well. So there's that, accountability that I think works really well.
So good. I think it's ultimately that's why you get a coach, right? It's so important. But like, speaking of support structures, you guys are both fortunate enough to run for Tarkine. So you're kind of part of the wild pack, as they call them, which is pretty cool. Annika, how did that come about for you? Like, when did the guys at Tarkine approach you and say, hey, do you want to be part of the team?
Yeah, good question. It actually originally happened pre-stress fracture. I believe it was pretty much after or close to, I was actually living nearby where their HQ is, and I wanted to try on their shoes. And it was a similar time to when I was doing my 65K Transcend. And they said, yeah, cool, pop in to the HQ. And that's when I met the legends there, Sam and Ross. And then we got chatting, and then I did Transcend, and then I think from there the ball started to roll, and then spent more time in the HQ. That was really cool, getting to know the behind the scenes and at the core what Tarkine is, and it's just two legends doing cool stuff for the planet and for the trail industry. And then, unfortunately, I got my stress fracture, and personally for me, it was just kind of all too much. I really needed to focus on myself and not have the pressure of having to perform, and not that there was any pressure whatsoever. I think I just felt that, I'm getting incredible benefits from this. I wanted to still be able to provide for Tarkine itself and help them grow. So I put a pause on it. And then, more recently, I think probably early last year, we got chatting again, and I said, you know what, like, I think I can start up again. I think the timing is more right. And it's been great ever since. I've got some incredible shoes that have come out, and it's been a great journey. I'm glad I signed back up with them.
Yeah, no, they are absolute legends over there. I've been to HQ myself with Simon when we interviewed Sam a long time ago now. But there's obviously some really cool things happening. I remember seeing some of the lasts that they had kind of set up of the shoes that were coming at the time, and there's still a few shoes that I remember seeing that haven't come out yet. So I'm really excited to see what's coming out in the next little while. Ben, how about you? Like, what's your when did you jump on board, mate?
Yeah, so I've been wearing their shoes. Probably only tried on a couple other pairs of shoes when I first started trail running, and then jumped across to Tarkine because they fit well, they were comfy, and they worked. And then after Transcend last year, Sam and Brendan reached out and said come in and have a chat. So I've been with Tarkine for nearly 12 months now, and as Annika said, like I'm literally about probably 3Ks from the door of the HQ there. So get up there somewhat regularly, but I need to make sure that I've got a good 45 minutes to an hour by the time you go for a wander around and chat to the crew and see Brandon's big dog if it's in the shop and and just see what they've got coming out and always spitballing different ideas or it's really cool because they will ask your opinion and if you've got suggestions or tweaks or things like that. It's really cool to have that input from a grassroots and what they're doing in terms of their environmental values is pretty huge as well, which is cool. And the new shoes are wicked. I've got a pair of prototypes that I'm trying now for Sam, which are good fun and nice and fast. So a few more to come. I'm sure some of them will be coming out soon, Chris.
Yeah, exciting.
Very exciting.
Totally. Because the Bandicoots are the most recent release, right? And everyone's been raving about those, like ahead of Margaret River Ultra this year. Yeah,
Bandicoots are wicked. They're so much faster than the Devils. Really groupy. Just a really quick, nice race shoe. That's what I did my 100K in and what I did Margs in as well. Which is really cool. And then the Trail Devil 3s, I guess, if they're not in the store as we speak, they'll be days away, I reckon. I haven't been there today. I normally go on a Monday on my day off, so I didn't get there today.
Routine's broken. Yeah, I love the Bandicoots as well. I like to think of it as the trail version of a carbon-plated shoe. I think it's probably quite the specific speedy shoe. It's really agile, and I just feel like I just want to run faster and so much more bouncier in that sort of light shoe. I love my Trail Devils. I run in them so often, and I think Strava's sent me so many notifications saying that you've reached your mileage, change shoe, and I'm like, nah, keep going. Like these have got many, many more kilometers to go. Like they're so durable. I love them. I'm such a creature of habit. I don't want to change.
Sure. That's like you mentioned it. That's a kind of one of the key things about Tarkine shoes is their durability, right? Like, and the effort to reduce waste and the rerun program and all that kind of stuff. So it's awesome to see an Australian company based here in WA doing all these special things that probably a lot of other bigger companies should be doing, but don't.
Yeah. I think it just speaks to the efforts that they're putting in. You know, they're a grassroots company, and they're doing far better than a lot of these huge companies out here that have had the time to do this sort of stuff that Tarkine's already gone ahead and done, like the rerun program you mentioned. I think that should be common sense for every shoe brand to have a recycling program or to resell their tested out shoes. It just kind of actually scares me a bit to see what those sort of big companies are doing with their shoes, you know, if that's not really common practice. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Completely agree with you. All right, moving us along then, as we're on the WA Running Podcast, talk to us about what makes you a weapon. Now, I've got some notes against you, Ben, which I clearly didn't write because it says Racing Commando and Squirrel Nut Butter on your feet. Sounds like my Instagram algorithm. It doesn't sound like my Instagram algorithm. So then, is it that or is it something else that makes you a weapon of warp?
No, I love my commando underwear, my T8 commandos. But I typically will race and run. All of my running is headphoneless, so no music, no earphones in, unless I'm on the dreaded treadmill, and it's the one time I need something to keep me going. So, it's all natural.
In every sense of the word, yeah.
What do you listen to if you're on the treadmill ever?
I've got to put a YouTube video on So it's generally either spearfishing or running related YouTube video. But I'm yet to crack. I cracked 20 minutes. I got to 21 minutes the other day, which is my maximum treadmill session.
Even that's brutal.
It's so hard. I went last Tuesday morning because the weather was awful and I had a session to do. And I was like, I don't want to do that on the coast. And that was my only option. And it was 56 minutes or something. I was just like, could I not just swallow me up? And that, it's like, I cut my warm up short. I cut my cool down short. I cut my recovery short. So how do I make the session shorter?
Yeah. It's definitely mental resilience training. I think that no respect to those that can do it.
100%. It really is. Yeah, that's what I was actually telling myself. I was like, this is good for my resilience. I need to do this. It's really good for me to be staring at this black sky in front of me. And Annika, how about you? What's your weapon-like behaviour?
Oh, what a question. I didn't think this was going to come to me. I don't know. I feel like I love a full send, but I guess you have to maybe make your own conclusions on me when you see me racing. I don't know.
For sure. I noticed you put down a bit of hardcore music on the trails. So, it's an interesting choice because, like, a lot of people, at least I feel like on the road, you're listening to, like, EDM or, like, something that's got a really consistent beat. But hardcore music, like, has breakdowns. There's, like, everything's changing constantly, much like a trail run, I suppose.
Yeah, I think that is precisely why I listen to it, is that it ebbs and flows like the trails do. You hear some hardcore sort of stuff that you never want to hear again, and that's kind of the same with a trail. You hit a hill that you never want to hit ever again. So, I don't know if I should name actually the band, but it gets you going. Definitely nothing I would listen to on the daily. I think I get quite judged actually if I actually think it's quite exposing talking to people about like what they listen to in the gym and on the trails, like, what dark demons have you got going on? But got to get around some hardcore music, I think, to get you up those trails. But I do try to limit myself to an hour, so I'll try an hour of nothingness just to kind of get my body and my brain in the rhythm and focus on myself and my race. And then the second half, as a reward, I'll allow myself to listen to some hardcore music.
Nice.
If my headphones work, which was a problem for UTA actually.
Oh, bummer. Didn't have those on the stairs then.
No, I reckon I could probably blame my race on that fact actually.
Bummer. I was at a hardcore show last night actually, so it's a safe space if you did want to name a band.
What is hardcore? Who would you say?
Well, last night I went and watched. It wasn't hard. It was like there was a hardcore band that played second bill called Spy from California. They played, and Deaf Heaven were like a black metal band that played the headline.
Okay.
It was very loud. I couldn't hear anything in the car afterwards. Like I was
you can just ring ears.
Yeah.
So it depends what sort of mood I'm in, but the Suicide Boys, if you want some like self-hatred, they love a bit of self-hatred chanting. Definitely not the greatest for like if you're not in a good mental headspace. But it definitely gets you going on the hills. And then I love a bit of German techno. I wouldn't say it's hardcore. It's not death metal. I don't listen to like that sort of heavy metal, but I love a bit of German techno. Maybe envisioning myself at like Berghain or one of those clubs over there, wearing all black. Out of body experience away from my existence on the trails in the pain cave.
So good. Music is can be a transcendent experience, much like a trail run can be. So, guys, Annika, you're racing the 28K at Transcend this year. Do you have any races prior to that? And
no.
What are your plans for the race at Transcend?
So no, I did not have any races before my before we decided to do a gym block, I was actually considering doing a bit of a cross-country season, actually, just to kind of practice my speed and going out fast, consistently staying at a fast pace and holding it at high capacity and high heart rate, which I think I might, if I'm thinking my long-term goal, which is Mount Kosciuszko by UTMB in November, Transcend's a stepping stone for me to progress to that. And I think I will be racing after Transcend, maybe some more shorter, faster sort of stuff. But I think right now I'll just be focusing on, trying to grind those hills, practice hill sessions and runnable sections, runnable hills, trying to really feel in my body what it feels like and really focus on that technique and trying to, be okay with being in pain and knowing that I can get to the top of the hill and my legs will be able to recover. I think that's probably my biggest practice that I'll be looking to do in my training sessions. But yeah, I think just focusing on recovering and training hard and eating well and looking for a really exciting race. I'm really excited for this one, actually. I just love WA races. I love going back to kind of where it all began.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, Petra Geragine won that race last year, beat all the blokes as well. I'd imagine you'll have similar aspirations.
Yeah, I do love a bit of just chipping off the blokes one by one. Or maybe might be the opposite. Maybe they're chipping me off. I don't know. Who knows? We'll soon find out. But yeah, I've got a friend coming over who I race with at the Golden Trail series. She's a speed demon. She's coming over, so it'd be interesting to see. She's deciding between the 28K or the 40K. So I think she'll definitely be up there giving everyone a run for their money if she decides to go for the 28K. That's Maddie O'Donnell. She's a legend. Yeah, she'll be coming over for it.
Awesome. Exciting stuff. All right, Ben, last year you got beaten by Mikey by, 2 minutes in the 65K. I think he's over in Turkey at the moment, so I suppose he's not coming back, or maybe he is, I'm not sure.
No, I think Mikey's got bigger goals set. Transcend, he's got a few races over there in Turkey, but Shane's and Mitch have got a fair collection of East Coast runners to come over for the 65K this year, so and a few really good local runners as well. So it's going to be a battle for the top three. I don't think you can take the top three for granted this year, and it's going to be a very fast year. So I'm pretty excited for that. The goal is to have as good of a race as last year and beat last year's time. Hopefully it's 2K shorter this year and it's back to the 65K, which would be nice. And try and dip under that magical 6 hour mark this year. So it's going to be a fair grind and race. But I'm feeling good at the moment, so hopefully I can keep this trajectory going.
Yeah, cool. And of all things, you're racing a 10K in a couple of weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I'm going to do, now that Mike's actually decided what day he's going to run his little fat ass event on, I'm going to give Shelley 10K a crack to see how fast I can run a flat 10K, because I've done that before. And then, I'm also going to do the PTS Truth or Consequences with the 25K as a hit out 3 weeks out. So with a Sterling block in there in between those two. So it's going to be a big few weeks coming up. And I'm excited. I'm excited for the training, to be honest. And the training races are just as much fun and the training.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I think Coach Macca sent me a message a couple of weeks ago, and I think he's going down south to the Sterlings with a few mates to train for Transcend. So, it looks like you might have some company down there.
Fair crew down. Are you coming up for that weekend, Annika?
I'll see. I would like to. It's very inviting. I really like what he's got going on there. What is it, 28K, 20Ks with 1,000 meters elevation?
Yeah. So
I'd really like to. I think that'd be a pretty wicked training sesh, but I have to keep it very top secret with my coach. I don't think she'd be too happy if I if I did that, especially with you guys, going full send. But what's your sort of training plan for the Sterlings? What's your routes that you tend to go on for the Sterlings?
Yeah, it's normally repeats, so I normally try and hit all of the peaks.
Yeah, nice.
Probably not Toolbrin up.
Yeah.
It's just a bit too technical and climbing up that top point.
Yeah.
For this sort of race, it's not really worthwhile. But yeah, a couple of bluff knolls. I try to get the bluff knoll half or with an extra repeat in there on my final morning is normally my ritual from the retreat up the top and then a repeat and then back down.
Yeah.
Talking about potentially doing a ridge, the ridge loop, or a couple of runs up and down, linking maybe Tally and Magog. So yeah, just as much vert and long downhills as we can.
Yeah, sounds like a wicked weekend out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's I said we'd be 75 minutes, and here we are 90 minutes later, and it just feels like we got started. So, I really appreciate both of your time on a Monday night. Thank you so much for sharing, all about your history and your training. It's really much appreciated. Just a reminder that we have a series of community runs coming up for Transcend. We're pairing up with Double, so Coach Macca and I, we've kind of put together this series of runs over the next kind of 6 weeks. The first one's this coming Sunday on the 12th of July. We're doing 28K starting at Helena Valley Primary School. It's roughly 450 metres of elevation, just an out and back. So nothing too crazy, but I'm hoping that these community runs will be kind of inclusive for everybody, whether they're running Transcend or not. Hopefully we can get some people out on either hopefully their first time on the trail or just get them comfortable in a group setting, which would be pretty cool. We've also got a Bibbulmun track run on the 26th of July and then the Victoria Dam run on the 16th of August. So,
Vicky, I just wanted to add to that as well. That out and back means that we are welcoming people to come and do less than 28K if they wish, right? That's the plan?
That is the plan. So we're starting at 6:30. Like if people want to run 10K, if they want to run 20K, or if they get 5K in and they feel like, fuck, this is not for me, like at least they know where they can get back. So an out and back is good like that. I've got OCD, so I don't like to do out and backs on my runs. I have to do loops all the time. But for the sake of the community, I'll make the sacrifice. Here we are.
More mental resilience training for you, Chris.
Exactly.
Yeah. And somebody needs to talk to Chris the whole way and distract him from the fact he's got to turn around and run back on the same path that he went out on.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Helena Valley, we've had a lot of running recently, so it's a good opportunity to get your shoes wet. There's a lot of puddles out there, as we saw last week. So, it'll be fun. Now, listeners can find us on Instagram at WA Running Pod. Our email is warunningpodcast@gmail.com. Our Strava group is Warp. Annika and Ben, thanks again. You're absolute legends. Great to meet you both, finally, after having a few yarns on the WhatsApp group in the last month or so. Look forward to catching up with you guys on the 17th of August for our next episode, where we'll have Vic Hunn and we'll have Michael Edgar again, and maybe Shane when he's back from Quebec. He might be on just to give us all a bit of a rundown on what the course is looking like this year and what we can look forward to. But guys, thank you so much for your time. We'll see you next time on the Trail to Transcend.
Thanks so much. I feel like we've just gotten started. I'm really looking forward to the next few podcasts. Thanks for having me on.
It's just a Monday night chat about running. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. What more could you want? Thanks, guys, so much.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Thank you.